These are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need this drill, electric, not battery. A couple of sanders. You're going to need a mouse ear type of sander because there's going to be some narrow parts in between some of the rings. You're going to need this type of a metal drill bit, and this type is also helpful. Some kind of a brush, some kind of a rag. You're going to need a face mask to prevent you from breathing in little pieces of metal as you're doing these rings, or later on wood sawdust. And you're absolutely going to need one of these because your metal brush is going to wear and is going to kick off little bits of steel into your face. And of course you're going to need to put it up off the ground with two sawhorses of reasonable weight-bearing capability. This is a medium-sized barrel, but this is a full-sized barrel. And that guy right there is really heavy. You may need help putting it up to work on and flipping it over. It's that heavy. This one's not too bad, and then the smaller size, the 5 barrel, is quite nice. But they're extremely heavy because they are solid white oak metal bands, and they still contain inside, you know, a fair bit of liquid that's impregnated the wood. So I'm going to do a one-handed job here just to show you how to clean these and how easy it is. And we're going to be using this tool, and we're going to be depressing and locking the trigger, and we're going to put our face mask on. Now, I won't be able to talk to you while this is going, but you can just see how easy it's going to be. So that was done with just one hand holding the drill, and if you have two, of course, it's going to go faster and you're going to do a better job. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a separate coarse wire brush for the wood, because you see all the black that's come off from our barrel rings. We don't want to get that black firmly entrenched and dug into our wood. So we're going to use a clean bit just for the wood, and if we go back to metal, we'll switch back to metal. Now your rotary tool is going to be spinning against the wood. If you turn it like this, you can spin it with the grain. However, it's going to give you a deep impression in the grain, and you don't want that. So if you go sideways like this, up and down, left and right, you're going to get a smoother finish, something like this, as opposed to this, which you're going to sand down later on anyways and take a lot of that imperfection out. But you can see just how much of the black comes out with just a very, very short little pass. I'm using my mouse sander, and I've got a 60 grit that I'm going to start with. When we're finished it all, we're going to be using a much higher grit before we apply any finish or any stain. And you can see that this is the rough wood that I showed you before that, you know, had this kind of grain in it because we were using the metal brush. And now it's started to sand down very nicely. So we've gone from something like this to something like this in really a relatively short period of time, and the wood is going to really pop when you apply whichever type of finish you do to it, and I'll show you 3 or 4 different kinds of finishes later.